Get up. That's right. Get up, get active, and get moving. Listen, welcome to Kevin White's Time is Life. If this is your first time here, I appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and most importantly, comment, because we love to hear your comments. Listen, I've been telling y'all that I got a couple of different series, and this is another part of my branding series where we're talking about how to brand yourself, or maybe different things that you can do to help elevate your business and things of that nature. But most importantly, as you always know, my show is not necessarily about those things. My show is about education, inspiration, and motivation. I'm going to give you all a platform to get up here and talk about what inspires you, what motivates you, and most importantly, how you can share your truths with other people to help educate them, right? So with that being said, I'd like to welcome to the show one of my good friends, you know what I mean? And you might have heard me talk about her a few different times. Miss Karina Singer. Karina, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy.
Absolutely. Now, for the people who don't know, Karina and I go way back. We go back, goodness, 20 plus years. And, it always starts off with the dancing, right? I've had a couple of people on the show that used to be dancers also, but this just gives you an example of how we can do what we do and still, you know what I mean, pivot, which is the word right now, and change into something and do something different. I appreciate you again being on my show. I feel extremely blessed to have you. So let me ask you, Karina, just so my audience can get to know you, who is Karina Singer?
Karina Singer is, just a woman trying to make it. I mean, I'm a single mother. I run a business. I, recently had gone back to school and got a couple degrees, and, just trying to put in the grind day by day and leave an example for my daughter. And, hopefully that she'll maybe not have it as hard as me, or, I mean, not that I had it super hard, but I'm just saying, like, hopefully I'll leave better footsteps for her to follow behind, you know what I mean, than even I had, or whatever, and hopefully she'll do the same for her children and so on. That's how it's supposed to work.
That's right.
And I really love to, build other women and entrepreneurs and just support and motivate other people, to feel like the world is complicated enough, and we could all use a little extra support. It's definitely a lot easier than being negative or having all that bad energy and stuff.
That's right. Listen, if you're just now tuning in, I'm live with Karina Singer. We haven't even gotten into her business yet, right? And how she's taken this business that she's now had for over 12 years, or excuse me, coming up on 12 years, and she's really dominating in her space. Karina, you had mentioned making sure that you're a positive example for different people, mainly your daughter, and seeing you do your thing, and her kind of jumping on board with that, and continuing to obviously stay positive and be driven like you are. I've known you now for over 20 years, and during this time, even when it came to the dancing, and even once we made that transition into corporate America, I remember you and I working side by side.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, obviously you were a trendsetter. I'm gonna just jump right into it.
You really were I was learning from you, actually. When I came in, you were already there, and already management, and I had never even been in that world before, and I really took every word that you said to heart. I was just trying to listen and learn as much as I can, just to I never really realized it might turn into a career at that time, but I'm thankful for everything that I learned through every step of it.
Right on. Well, let me tell you something. You didn't just learn it, Karina. You took it to another level. Everybody, Karina's business, the name of her company is On the Map, right? And I could sit here and I could tell you how she helped local businesses and independent businesses grow, flourish, get found, be seen, do all these things, and nonprofits. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you any of that stuff. Instead, I think it'll be more fitting if Karina told you about her business. Go ahead, Karina.
Yeah, so I started my business in my living room doing Google Maps for people after I had gone through 2 different corporate companies and had, lost my job or gotten laid off for one reason or the other. And I just felt like there wasn't a lot of accountability in a corporate setting. They had their salespeople up front talking to people and making all kinds of promises that are supposed to happen. And then in the back end, none of that would be supported or followed up on, or, I'm a really big deal in keeping my word, I feel like. And it was always my face that was having to come back and say, oh, I'm sorry, couldn't do it again, or they won't, whatever the case may be. So I thought, well, if I can just learn how to do it myself, then I can always offer the best job. I can always make sure that, even if something doesn't work out or I make a mistake, I can always make up for it, or, do something else. And it was always going to be, me the one responsible for it, and I can hold myself accountable for it, which was a blessing and a nightmare in disguise.
All right. I mean, I have to tell you, you deciding to put yourself out there to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And if it's not right, I'm responsible. You can come to me. That is the type of mentality that people need these days, because someone's always looking to blame someone else. It's not my fault. It's their fault. It's not my fault. He did it. She did it, or whatever the case may be. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't help you. But if you call this number, they can help you. Standing in front of it and owning it, that's big time. That is big time. So let me ask you this, because I know that this is got to be challenging for you, especially coming from the business that we came from. I recall there was a time where, like you said, you started this company in your living room. You know what I mean? Just kind of building it up. There was a time where we worked for this particular company, and the names will be, changed to protect the innocent. But I recall a point where you were doing your thing, and they were asking you to come in and kind of like, hey, Karina, do this, do this, do this. And they essentially trying to create a new product, if you will, based upon the knowledge that you had started to uncover and to come to you. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, in sales, it's hard to sell something when you don't know the product really well. And so, I'd gone from this unknown company name and from selling like one thing. And, that was right when like the digital world was taking hold, like Google, people were just realizing that they could search on Google to find, local businesses and not just use like a phone book, or that's what everybody used back in the day, right? So I felt like I didn't know the digital space as well. I really didn't know too much about the internet or how that worked, or, about Google search or any of that. So I felt like in order to sell good, or in order to do a good job for, my customers I was selling to, I had to at least know the product. And then the way Google is you can't really learn just one thing. It like unfolds into something else and into something else. And, something else led to something else. And and everything is really connected. So like at first when I was trying to learn AdWords, that's great. But then I had to learn, how to build websites. And then once you do websites, people want SEO, you learn how to do SEO. And then you kind of like dabble into social media. And, before you know it, you're taking on all of these services that you've learned and that you want to be able to offer. And you really, the only way to grow is really to either just go for it, or you're, just going to work in your living room your whole life, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there was a point where I just couldn't take on anymore, and I wasn't able to make any more money. So I had to branch out and learn how to grow, which is a big risk, right? Because it's not just about getting more customers or having people help you or a team or anything like that. When you hire people, you have to think about workman's comp insurance and like all of these other things that add to the expenses. So, it's just doing it right, doing it the right way, which, that's how we learn, but you do it the wrong way. So it's always a learning experience. I did it the wrong way like 100 times. I'm still probably doing it the wrong way. But, at the time it's right. At the time it's the right way. And then you learn something better, so you do better. But, it's definitely been a journey. It doesn't, every day as you're going through it just seems like a grind, a hustle. But then when you look back and you see how far you've come and you're like, wow, I've really come a long way. Then that makes it, it makes it better. And then when you see other people coming up around you that you've helped and trained and tried to support and all this stuff, and they're also coming up and being successful and, enjoying the fruition of it, it's a magical feeling. And that's kind of like, what I love about what I do is I get to watch businesses grow and become more successful and become, able to then help other people grow and become more successful. And it becomes like this chain that you don't really realize what kind of an influence you have sometimes. And then you'll see it and you're like, wow, I maybe have a tiny piece to play in that. And
Yeah,
I love what I do. That's what I love about it.
that's right. Sounds like that's part of what inspires you.
It is absolutely what inspires me. It's to be able to watch people shine. I love to see that. I love to see people, on their game and handling their business. And, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be without struggle at all. It's just like, it's good to see people trying or, getting over the roadblocks or the obstacles of life. That's inspiring to see. Well, they handled that and they got over it. And, they went through this and they got over it. And it's, you learn and you grow from that too.
I agree. Listen, if you're just tuning in, I'm live with Karina Singer, CEO of On the Maps Digital Marketing. Listen, just based upon what you were just telling me, Karina, just to be 100% totally transparent, that's one of the reasons why a lot of businesses or a lot of people don't go out and start their business. They think that it does have to be perfect, that there's no struggle. If there's no, you know what I mean? And the old cliche, with no struggle, no progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like to be straight up with you, most people think that it's supposed to be perfect.
Yeah. And they want it all overnight too. They want to, they want the big business corporation and they want to lead a bunch of people and they want to do all this other stuff. And they haven't even had any practice leading themselves yet or, growing. Like everybody wants to be an advertising agency all of a sudden, knows nothing about advertising and is, getting clients to pay them and then asking other people, hey, how do I do this? Like, I feel like that's so backwards. Like you would want to learn, not overthink. You want to go for it, right? But work on your own stuff first, and then you'll get experience with that. And then try some friends and family, and then, get experience doing that. They just don't want to take the time to build and to grow. They just want it instantly, overnight, because they don't see all of the struggle that we've been through. Like 12 years, I should be a billionaire right by now, right? And
that's what they say, but that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not really what I was ever about. I really just wanted to do a good service and do a good job and, be able to stand behind my word is really all I want to do. And I became good at it and I enjoyed helping people. And then it just grew from there. But it only grew because I enjoyed helping people. I enjoyed seeing them grow. It wasn't about just watching me grow. Like I don't see me growing. I don't see my growth until I look behind me way, way back. And then I'm like, damn, I've grown. But I don't see that like as I'm going at all.
Right on. I have to tell you, just based upon, again, what you're saying to me and the stuff that inspires you, the growth and all of those things, I know you and I've seen the growth. You talk about, some people will say, oh, well, she's been in business for 12 years. She should be a billionaire. And when I say that that's not necessarily true, think about this. A lot of businesses go out of business within the first 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. They don't even make it. They don't even make it. You've been doing this now. I mean, what? January 2021 will be 12 years.
Yeah. 2009, like right after the bubble, when we got laid off from that one unmentionable company. I was just like, yeah. Right. And then we got another little stint at another little company. But then, it still just ended up being me doing stuff for the clients. And I was just like, this is what it's going to be, obviously.
Right. So, well,
yeah.
I have to tell you, I'm super duper proud of you. And I mean, not that I'm anybody to say I'm proud of you, but I am because I know who you are. Thank you.
You were totally in this industry before me. You totally helped me come up, watched me come up, supported me coming up. Like really from the beginning, like not everybody supports you from the beginning. You know what I mean? But I remember right away, you and your wife had me over at the boutique and was like asking for my advice and my help. And that was really when I just started. And really all I knew was Google Maps, but that's all you asked me about. But you trusted in me from the very beginning. And I definitely remember and appreciate that support because a lot of people didn't. They were like, oh, who does she think she is? Or, whatever. And I was just like, I'm just somebody trying to feed my child is all I think I am.
That's right.
I didn't have a choice, really. I just trying to feed my child. It's disheartening, but at the end of the day, I do not have a choice to worry about that. I just have to keep going forward and keep taking one step in front of the other. And I knew eventually that it was going to pay off. And I just kept, imagining and manifesting. And one day I'm going to get so big and they're, finally going to be like, oh, okay, maybe she actually worked hard to get something. Maybe, you know what I mean? And then they like come around, and then I'm like trying to support them and trying to like, they realize that I'm just, I'm not that type of person. Like I really do believe in supporting people and helping other people come up. And I feel like you're only as strong as your weakest link anyway. So why not try to make your weakest link as strong as possible? I feel like that's the way to go for me anyways.
No. I hear you. And I hear exactly what you mean. The bottom line is there's going to be haters. There's going to be tons of them. And what they don't seem to realize is that you're not even looking at them. You're looking past them. You have a goal.
Right. Ultimately, like you see it sometimes in a little side view, but a little jab, whatever. You just gotta brush that off and keep going no matter what. Like it just, it is what it is. You're not gonna be able to control that. You only control what you can do and what actions you're gonna take to make a solution. Everybody else is on. That's their business, really.
Right. No. Based upon what you're saying, it sounds like not necessarily that everything was laid out for you, because obviously I know that you had to hustle. Tell me about a time where you was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm finished with this. I'm going to try something else. Now, there's been times where, again, because we've worked together. I know some stories, but I want you to tell a story to the audience that think that, wow, man, first of all, she's amazing because she's been doing this for 12 years. Started it on her own and just kind of created this vision. And now, how can I do it? Or what makes me feel like I can do it? Because I'm going through all of this where it may looks like you didn't have to go through anything. Tell me a time.
Every day, I think at least one point in the day, I'm just like, I'm done with this. It's like, you have especially because it's always, even no matter, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If it's your company, you're always going to be responsible for sales, right? And sales is always like the next sale, right? The next person that you can help, the next person that you can, go to or whatever. And so I feel like it's always a struggle. Like it's never just like you just kick back and whatever. Because even the more sales you have, it's just the more work you have to do on the back end as well, right? And it's the more like pressure to make everything perfect. Like you cannot fail for the customer, like no matter what. Like our stuff will be slacking all the time, but our customer stuff, it's on point or I'm fixing it, right? I'll be up till midnight, 2 a.m. Like we have teams all over the world, clients all over the world. There's a lot of times where I have to work in the middle of the night or whatever it is. So it's never just like I'm kicking back and my feet are up and I'm just chilling or whatever. Like I work harder and harder. The more I grow, the harder I work. And you know what I mean? Like I feel like our whole team, I've gotten to a point now where I have an amazing team behind me, and I credit them to a lot of everything that I've had, because before, when you're by yourself, you don't really know what you need or what you don't need. And then you have people come together and they're helping you and they have their own ideas, and it just makes for a better environment for everybody and a better culture for everybody. And I definitely grew tremendously more once I started to bring on a team to help me, and was able to work on that. But I would say I don't know, even as I was coming up, like I've gotten jobs before because I was scared I wasn't going to make it. Like I went and applied for a job just in case, because I only had like a few customers or whatever. And and I would just do that on the side. Like I never quit doing that. But sometimes I just wanted a salary. I got my bachelor's degree. I got my master's degree. I was like, I could be making 6 figures up in a cushy office, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then go home and never think about work on the weekends or after hours or any of that. Because that's what cushy jobs do when they're making that much money, right? They have all these people underneath them. And I could spend more time with my daughter and all this other stuff. So plenty of times I got a job. I was scared. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And then something happened where I would either get like a flush of new clients and I couldn't even do a job anymore because I was constantly working on or something would happen in the job and I would, have to leave and then have to go get more clients. You know what I mean? It was always getting back down to that. So I was forced to do it because nothing else really worked out.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you though, motivation and perspective is something else. The fact that you're as successful as you are, and you're a single mother trying to raise a daughter, that's big, Karina. That's big. You're amazing. I just want to kind of put that out there. You're amazing. Yeah. Let me ask you, doing something like this in a pretty much male dominated industry.
Yeah.
How is that working out for you?
It's difficult. And even now, like every single day, I still see this every day. There are people that They know I'm the best. They want to use me really bad. They want to go with me, but some man with like maybe a month of experience or, whatever, and we'll come and pitch them and they'll go with them. And then they'll call me and ask me all their questions because they don't understand what the other person is doing, but then they still choose to go to them. And sometimes they'll go to like 5-10 different men-run agencies before they realize that they're just going to give me a try, and then they kick themselves in the ass the whole time. So on the end part of that, it feels really good to, be like, oh, I told you so. But
Right.
on the, it's rough. I see it every day. I just went and pitched somebody the other day. We were there for like 3 hours. It was a great conversation. I thought everything was perfect. Like, I really had a lot of ideas to help them. They were nowhere on the internet. We don't have any other companies in that industry, so they would be alone in our work to help them get to the top. And I'm pretty sure we still went with a man-ran company. Just, I don't know. That's just the way it is. Our male salespeople tend to do better than our women salespeople. Not better as far as like in the long run, as far as numbers go, but as far as the speed at which the sales close, and their sales cycle is definitely a lot shorter. Just because for some reason, I don't know, people have their perceptions about people's appearances, I guess.
Sure. Listen, if you're just tuning in again, I'm live with Karina Singer, CEO of On the Maps, and my good friend. It's good to have you. And obviously you're sharing your expertise and your education with everybody. Let me ask you this. For your business and you getting started, what was the most difficult thing that you had to deal with when it came to getting your business started? Was it getting out there and hustling to getting the clients? Was it, proving your worth? Obviously, I know you're going to constantly be proving your worth, because in today's society, it's not about us as someone providing a service. It's about the person that's getting the service, and it's about me. You know what I mean? Me. So, and I understand that, but what is one of the hardest things that you had to go through? You know what I mean? Building your business.
It's difficult to, as an entrepreneur, you wear a lot of hats. And so it was difficult for me to maintain everything at once: the child, the home, the business, the work coming in, the customers, trying to hire a team or something. I still sometimes constantly feel like I'm juggling like 100 balls. And that even though it's like just in sync, at any moment, one of those could fall, and I feel like it would all just come crumbling down. But I constantly feel like that. It's always been like that. Getting clients is sometimes a struggle. I think that there's a lot of other agencies that do what I do, and they have a really bad reputation because they don't know what they're doing, or they don't care about their customer, or they're just not in it for the right reasons. They're in it to make a buck instead of to actually help somebody be successful. Or even if they're in it to help people be successful, they just don't really know what they're doing, and they don't want to admit that. And so it's a whole lot of fluff and make believe and stuff like that. So, getting past that and competing past that, I just feel like as a woman, it's a totally different, that's really the biggest struggle, is as a woman compared to somebody else or whatever. I don't know, that men especially, I have great luck with women businesses. I connect and bond with them instantly, no problems at all. It's the men sometimes businesses that either they're just not sure at first. And then once they come on board, they're totally fine, and they're, it's a totally different story. But just getting people to trust you past that industry bias of, negativity that we have, and just the fact that, you're a women-owned company, there's women running it. We work with clients and teams all over the world. So I have teams in India, I have teams in Pakistan. You have no idea what kind of racial bias comes in from that. You know what I mean? So much where even my teams in India have to make up American names, because as soon as somebody talks to a Pooja or Amit or whatever, it's all it's some, it becomes an issue, even if there's no issue, right?
Or they might start thinking it's a scam or something, right?
Right. But these people I've worked with for years. We're a team, and they do amazing work. And just because they change their name to an American sounding name, then everything is all good. Nobody knows the difference.
Right.
They don't know that we're working with people all over the world in all different time zones. I tell everybody that, but they just don't. It's hard to fathom sometimes. But so it's a lot of stuff that you may not always think of, that you have to get past, and it's always one thing after the other, which I feel like just makes you stronger, makes you better, because you definitely learn how to get better the next time. And then other people will come up and ask you questions, and you're like, oh yeah, I've totally been through that before. Don't do it like this. You definitely want to go this route, or do it this way because I've done that or whatever. So I feel like I've helped a lot of other agencies come up as well, and that makes me feel good too.
I remember when you first broke off from the second company, I think it was. You first broke off. There was a lot of other individuals trying to break off and do the same thing that you were doing.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, I'll just say it. You have staying power. You know what I'm saying? You got staying power, and look at you. You're going into 2021, guns blazing, and
yeah.
Absolutely. I know, and I'm honored and proud to call you my friend. I wish you nothing but luck and success. I have a couple other questions before I let you go, because I know you squeezed me into your schedule, and I appreciate it. What would be one thing that you would give, that you would suggest, I should say, to both we'll start with the first question, an entrepreneur trying to start a business.
Okay.
And the second part of that question is going to be to a local business trying to, get customers, which is what you help do.
Yeah. So I think for an entrepreneur trying to get business, so like when I started, I went to like freelancing sites where there were people from all over the world that were requesting bids for jobs, right? And so I put in all my skills. I took all their little tests, which kind of proved that I knew what I was doing, or that I could do what they wanted me to do. And then I would just put in the bid. And, a lot of people wanted people in the United States. So I had a little bit of a, benefit that way. And the fact that I was, kind of new, and, it seemed like, I don't know, I had already built up all my own stuff, for myself and for my business. And so people really thought that I was maybe bigger than I was at the beginning, when I really was not that big at all. It's just me. And then, as you start working with people, and these people are on freelancer sites, so they come from all over the world, you get the experience of working with people all over the world. And then you can tell people you're global, and it sounds good. And it's totally, it gives you insight into how other countries handle their internet marketing and Google, and how that all works, because it's not the same everywhere. And so that's really like a huge, learning experience. But I would just say, like, get out there and meet people, build relationships, because people don't buy from you because they love your product. Because I've seen a ton of people with some shitty products, and they still buy from it because they like the person, they like the personality, they like what the brand stands for, and they buy. Perfect example of that is I buy from Dove. If I can ever buy a Dove product, I'd buy it. I'm not sure if I should say that brand. Maybe they should pay me right now. But they did their natural beauty campaign, and I thought that that was really like awesome, that they included women of all different shapes, colors, sizes, ages, all of that stuff. And to me, like, that mattered to me so much that I didn't care if the product worked or didn't work or whatever. I was buying Dove any chance I could. I wanted to give them my money. And so that was like really eye-opening to me, as far as like, people don't buy the product, even though I'm adamant about our product and services being the best, and I want to go out of my way to make sure that we are the best at what we do. I feel like people really like us in general, and that we go out of our way to help them and talk to them. And it's not always about selling. Sometimes we give free advice and things like that. So local business entrepreneur, I would say network locally. Get out there, meet people, have relationships, do virtual meetings, whatever it is. Even if the person can never help you or never will hire you or whatever, they will like your post. They'll share your post. And even that little bit is, makes a difference. So I would say, don't dismiss anybody. Don't, I'm only focusing on the sharps, or I'm only focused, because you never know who you're going to meet that knows something that you may not know. That's going to give you some insight, that's going to spark a whole new, thing for you, that's going to, lead you on. So I would say, just don't discount anybody, and just always, be humble and respect other people, and just build that relationship.
Very nice. So my last question for you, right? My last question for you, and I ask this question to all of my guests. When you hear the phrase "time is life," what does that mean to you? What resonates?
Kevin White, but yeah. No, seriously, because so like sometimes, like, we start at 10 o'clock, right? Because Vegas, businesses don't open as early, right? So it's kind of, we start here in the office at 10 o'clock. So I'd be in my bed, like looking through social media, and I would hear, "Get up." And I'm like, I need to get up now. Like, damn you, Kevin. Because then I was feeling like a slacker, you know what I mean? And that's inspiring. And I had to like get up and like go walk around the block because Kevin's walking around the block and time is life. And you know what I mean?
You are crazy. You are crazy.
So, I mean, you know, it totally is like that. This year, especially, has given a lot of perspective to that. Like, not just Corona, but everything. Like, tomorrow's not really guaranteed to anybody. And why waste even a single second of your life? Because it is just wasting. There's been a lot of fear this year, I think, and a lot of people pausing and stopping their life. And I have no judgment about that or anything like that. It just, I just feel like life is short enough as it is. And, you know, we lost a lot of people this year, which is really difficult. And just get up, man. Just show up, do it no matter what, no matter how you feel, get up. Kevin, my man over here, no matter what position he was in, no matter what he's doing, he always came to the office suited up, like so like GQ. And you know, sometimes I would be lazy and I would come in like not looking all GQ'd and stuff like that, and it made me feel like my whole day was a slump. My whole day was like feeling like that, right? But then I would look at Kevin and I was like, you just can't help but feel JQ when you look that GQ. And you know, that really inspired me too. Like, you know what, no matter how you're feeling on the inside, no matter what's going on, show up, get up, and participate 100%.
That's right. Wow. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people they see me in this, they don't see me in the shirt and tie. But I'll tell you, Karina, like 100%.
Suited, like head to toe, like perfection, cufflinks, the whole nine. Like, I was like, hey, like, you know, it makes you want to like listen to what you have to say. It automatically gives you that like certain edge, right? That level of like, this person cares enough about himself to take care of himself and to look presentable and to, you know, a lot of people I think miss that. They're like, oh, I don't have to dress up, I don't whatever. It's really about loving yourself and taking care of yourself and, you know, giving yourself that time and energy. And, you know, I really got a lot out of that. I learned a lot from that.
Yeah, but that's big. And I'm going to have you back. If you'll come back.
I would be honored to come back. I will see you any day, my friend, for real. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, because what you were just talking about then about, you know, people and the way they feel on the inside and based upon if they just get up and get dressed and things, that's along the lines of mindset and belief and a whole bunch of other stuff. And we're going to get into that. Karina, listen, first of all, again, I appreciate you being on. I'm going to scroll your information at the bottom again. Listen, this is Karina Singer, CEO of On the Maps Digital Marketing. If you want to follow her, and I recommend you do, you can find her on any social media platform just by searching onthemaps.com or that'd be the website, excuse me, but On the Maps Digital Marketing on any social media platform, you'll find her. She does awesome work.
On the Maps with an S.
Yes, with an S.
Multiple maps on every single map.
Every single map. Karina, thank you again. Right. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody, listen. So that was Karina, right? And I have to tell you, I've known Karina for an extremely long time. You know, I've watched her grow and stretch herself. And, you know, I recall those times where, I mean, you know, we're working in an office and our higher ups are asking her to do stuff that they don't necessarily know how to do, nor do the people in the back know how to do, but she does. And it became a point to where they were asking her to do it, but they didn't want to pay her any additional money. And she still had to service it. She went out and she started creating her own. She bet on herself. You know what I mean? She bet on herself. She said a lot of great things on this podcast, and I hope you were able to get some of it. The bottom line is this: believe in yourself. You know, she said a number of different times, sometimes all you got to do is just show up. And what was the one that I really, you know, this one right here really, really resonated with me. I asked her about, you know, me building her business and being an entrepreneur, but not just being an entrepreneur, about local businesses. She said, sometimes you just got to get up and go meet people, go network, go talk to somebody. You know what I mean? But she also said something else that really resonated with me. she talked about the people around her. And, you know, I mean, you all know I talk about the village all the time. And I say, if you're listening to this, you're in my village. Well, Karina's in my village. She's been in my village, right? So she also talked about these individuals that she surrounds herself with. I'm saying that to say this, you know, get up. That's first, because time is life. And you're not sure how much time you're going to have left or how much time you have left. Do what you have to do right now and don't worry about what other people are talking about. And if they're not talking about what you're talking about, that means you need to find other people to add to your village. So with that being said, listen, I'm not going to draw this out any longer. I appreciate you tuning in. And most importantly, remember, time is life. Subscribe, like, follow, and most importantly, comment. I love your comments. I love your emails. I love your messages. Reach out to me. We'll talk about something that you want to talk about. All right. Peace.